And now I come to 2022 election, whereby I try to convince later that the voter register that is going to be used is not proper, and they should give it to us, even if we are going to be his agents and organize the agents. He didn't think so, and because of the handshake with the Uhuru, he thought it is a free flow. Just for jokes, 2022 election comes. It's later against Ruto. They were saying we have deep states, and Ruto would tell them which deep states you have, because Ruto knew exactly how the extra votes will be put it doesn't matter. You know, I'm 82 years. If I get kidnapped or hijacked, 84. It doesn't matter. Kano has gone and he was younger than me. So we must just tell this, because I want to tell President Ruto, and it's good that Raila is here, if he wants to leave this country, good, because he's the president, and if he cannot do anything, yeah, whether he won the election or he didn't win, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But the only thing that can help us is to make sure that a new register of voters is created. If election comes before I pass on, like retiring in the next 2.5 years or so, so that all Kenyans can cast votes, and each vote will, even if I lose, he loses, at least he will leave a...
Ladies and gentlemen, power all over the world is not given, but power is taken. Power is not won through the casted votes, but power is grabbed strategically, using force or by whatever mean, by those who have taken control of the system of a given jurisdiction. There are those who are called the deep state, those who have the deep secret of how power transcends. S.K Macharia, chairperson of the Royal Media Services, exposed a lot of secrets that Kenyans have not known, or Kenyans have just heard being talked about, between 1992 to 2022, touching on the presidential election, and how Kenyans have reached to those results that we've have over the years, and how the subsequent presidents and the regimes have come to power. And out of those elections, the only election that Kenyans have confessed, and even Macharia confirmed today together with Raila Odinga, that was free and fair, was the one of 2002. And for avoidance of doubt, I want to play for you that clip, part of it, then you hear for yourself what S.K Macharia is saying. Then I am going to do analysis about his speech.
Kibaki won, and we had data, complete data, that it's Raila who had won the election. I know some people will run away here, but let them run away because we agreed with the Getahi. I'm speaking to the soul of Getahi. Here is only the body. And we had agreed whoever dies first will reveal this information to the country. So that's why I'm doing it. Our data was showing Raila had won with 1.8 million votes. And I was picked from my house at night, and all the returning officers from Mount Kenya region were held somewhere, and their return forms taken. And I was taken to my office. I found some people, I'm not going to mention their names, and we changed all those figures, and Kibaki won the election against him. I'm not going to mention about 2013 election, which again was Uhuru, or 2012 to 2013. Again, I campaigned for Raila, and Royal Media had already started then, and Inoro TV and Citizen TV were switched off in the whole of Mount Kenya region, but that could not make me change my belief in Raila, because Raila was left.
Now, if you are careful, you would extract some information regarding the elections of this country and how critical are these issues. Before they are addressed, Kenyans should not expect a free and fair election. There are a lot of interferences that have always marred the presidential election in this country. And Macharia can recount very well between 2002 to 2022. That is where the real rigging and irregularities have been experienced and seen in Kenyan election. But I want to talk about 4 or 6 things, points about Macharia's statement. You will agree with me that Macharia has touched about register. Macharia has touched about doctoring results. Macharia has talked about the issue of deep state. Macharia have talked about the mistakes of Raila Odinga that sometimes have cost him the presidency. And Macharia have talked about William Ruto's availability to win the next election. Because Ruto is well informed on how the system goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Macharia, when I start with the register, Macharia said that in 2013, sorry, he started back in 2013, how the results were announced based on a very fake register, not the genuine register which Kenyans would have expect the electoral body to use to govern the election, to use to preside over the elections. But instead, they have used fake register in favor of those regimes. Macharia is saying that in this issue of the registers, they normally include the names of the dead, and the genuine register should have people's photos, IDs, and fingerprints. But the fake one doesn't have those. And this fake one has been always used to help put certain regime in power. Number two, Macharia recounts 2007, how in his own telling, as royal media, Raila Odinga had won the election with over 1.8 million votes against Kibaki. But in the middle, before the announcement were made, he was taken out of his house, then drove to his office. And in his office, there were men there whom he couldn't mention their names. And these people forced him to facilitate the doctoring of the results of 2007 and to come up with new figures that favored Kibaki's re-election. So that could tell you that there is this thing called the deep state. There is a group of individuals in this country who are very powerful. You can't ignore them. They play the dirty tricks to put regimes in power. They are like brokers. They do what they want so that whoever they want comes to the office. So after that, despite being a good friend of Raila and campaigned for Raila, he was forced to take part in rigging Raila's votes because he is part of that system. And Raila also knows very well, and he said that Macharia had informed him 2007 prior to the announcement that Kibaki is going to be announced the winner, though you have won. But he gave Raila only two choices, either accept or refuse to accept. Then there will be so much bloodshed and this country will plunge into chaos. And if you accept, you will divide power. That is what Raila did. The third thing, the issue of deep state. Ruto, he said in his own words, Macharia, that Ruto laughed about the issue of deep state when it arose during the 2022 general election, that the side of Raila had a deep state as Azimio. And Ruto laughed it because he knows very well how the voting, the extra votes are gotten and the cooking of figures is done. So that is why he laughed, because he knows very well the game. The fourth thing that I want to mention, which Macharia mentioned and very important, is Raila Odinga's own impatience. Macharia said that in Naivasha, before 2013 general election, he wanted to raise this issue of fake register, but Raila refused. Raila asked him not to raise that issue. It means if this issue would have been sorted out, 2013 or 2017 election would have been free and fair. And he also said that this could be the reason why somebody like Chris Odhiambo Msando was murdered, for the interference of this register. So there's a collusion and conspiracy within the system that have always denied Kenyans the right to choose whomever they want in the State House. Ruto being the president, and you see Macharia making reference on how he laughed at the issue of deep state, because you can remember he said that you can even choose Oburu Odinga to become the Electoral Commission chairperson. He knew how these things are going to be done, even if Oburu sits there. So Ruto knows where the extra votes are being gotten or they come from. This should help Kenyans to predict something in 2027. Because if something is not done and Ruto remains in power, my friend, even these figures that the likes of Gachagua, Kalonzo are putting on table will be useless. No matter how many votes we will take and cast, no matter how many Gen Zs will register, if what Macharia raised today are anything to go by, because Macharia has been in the inner circle of Raila Odinga's campaign team and facilitate and financer. The biggest financer and facilitators of Raila's campaign has always been Macharia since the days of Jaramogi, because he said he couldn't betray Raila since Raila was given to him by his father Jaramogi. Despite the humiliation, frustration from his tribesmen, even the regimes going to the extent of frustrating his own businesses by closing or blocking royal media houses to air in Mount Kenya, this could not deter him from supporting Raila Odinga. So S.K Macharia's words are very, very important to any person who is interested in the politics of this country, more so to presidential election. And to help us go into 2027 election, not with our emotions, but with clarity of mind that there are some irregularity that the Supreme Court, under the leadership of Maraga in 2017, pointed out and told the IEBC that that election was not free and fair. There were some irregularities that took place during that election. So let us watch out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and may God bless you.